Hello everyone, my name is Sagar, working as an assistant professor in RPIT campus. So in this video we are going to discuss our next topic, that is real approach. As in our previous videos we are learnt about doctrine approach and consensual approach. So this is our third approach, that is real approach. So let's take an introduction. So the real approach, also known as the legal realism, is a theory in jurisprudence that focuses on how law actually functions in real life practices, not just how it is written. In cyber law context, the real approach emphasizes the practical impact of laws on individual companies and institutions. Studies how judges, law enforcement, and users respond to and interpret cyber law in the real scenario. So this is about the introduction. So now, what is the core ideas of this real approach? So the core concept or ideas about this approach is like law in action. So law should be understood as it is applied, not just written, as that is written in doctrine approach. Judicial behavior. Judges' decisions are influenced by real-world factors like social values, politics, and technologies. Imperial evidence. Decisions should be based on the data and real effect, not just doctrine. Dynamic interpretation. Laws must be evolved with society and reflect current realities. So these are some core ideas of real approach. There are some applications in cyber law and cyberspace of real approach. Like cyberspace is rapidly evolving and full of complex issues such as cyberbullying, hacking and data theft, online harassment, digital privacy breaches, AI-based decisions. The real approach helps in analyzing how these issues are treated in practice, not just in the law books. Evaluate how courts are adapting to emerging technologies and focus on justice outcome rather than the rigid legal test. Let's take an example of real approach in the cyber law. Let's take a scenario of Sierra Sehgal vs Union of India 2015 case. In this, real approach is used. Supreme Court struck down Section 66A of IT Act as it was misused in practice to suppress free speech. So this is how real approach is working in the case of Sierra Sehgal vs Union of India. Now, next scenario is use of AI in legal decision. The court must consider practical consequences of algorithm bias. Online harassment cases scenario. Application how that is used is like judges evaluate the real psychological harm and social impact rather than abstract legal definitions. Social media regulations. Real world impact of misinformation and hate speeches affect legal rulings. Let's talk about the importance in legal reforms. The real approach is vital for modernizing cyber laws to match the real world threat, creating victim-centric laws, especially for women and vulnerable groups online, understanding digital behavior and applying promotional penalties. It avoids the pitfalls of theoretical or outdated interpretation that do not align with the current technologies or realities. We have to face some challenges in the cyber law as we addressed by the real approach, like under reporting of cyber crimes. There are some encourages imperial data collection and public legal education, ineffective legal remedies, over policing or misuse of cyber laws. So let's discuss about the differences between the two approaches that we discussed earlier and this approach: doctrine approach, consensual approach, and real approach. So doctrine approach is based on legal text, while consensual approach is based on mutual agreement, but real approach is based on practical impacts. While if you talk about the other factors, like doctrine approach focus on legal interpretation, consensual on user consent and ethics, and real is real life application. So doctrine approach is ideal for court and lawyers, consensual approach is ideal for platforms and users, and real approach is ideal for policymakers, judges, and law reforms. Doctrine approach have limitations that it is rigid, and consensual is power imbalance, and real is case dependent. So this is all about the real approach. Thank you very much.